Right now, the main priority by Disney and Lucasfilm, it's really all about sticking to the core philosophy of the franchise that will be run by multiple creators like Lucas, Gilroy, Favreau, and Filoni so far. They're also getting Reed, as in Peyton Reed, to actually come on board to direct a lot of other Star Wars projects. You guys may or may not know this, but Peyton Reed did direct the finale of Mando Season 2 with Luke. He did a fantastic job on that. He knew how important it was to the fan base. So moving ahead, there's a lot of things going on right now with Star Wars overall. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future Star Wars updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support, and without wasting any time, let's get right into the subject. Now, we know that there are a handful of Star Wars movies in the works, as well as Star Wars TV shows, to really kind of create that balance. And basically, the overall outlook by Disney right now is that they want to treat Star Wars like Marvel in a sense, not necessarily by the style, but by the format of how they actually release both movies and TV shows and how they coexist. And basically they want to make movies the main thing again, where shows are going to be more or less of a side thing. That's how they want to treat Star Wars again. And I think that's the better route, to be honest. I think that movies have higher production value in a sense, because they're relying on ticket sales and not just, of course, subscriptions on a streaming service. So what's great about this, though, and their overall outlook on Star Wars is exactly what is coming to light for a couple of projects moving ahead. Now, right now, both John and Dave are beginning to work on many special projects that will involve George Lucas as a co-writer. Now, one of which is going to contain new secrets related to Darth Revan that is going to be based on Keanu Reeves' design, since they do plan to sign him up for the first Old Republic movie that will deal with multiple storyboards already. Multiple storyboards for the Underworld series that is set to dive into Sith lore, where one of the big moments that John and Dave are preparing are the early days of Crimson Dawn, where one of the scenes that is actually set to open up is to a hidden location on Coruscant, where Maul is said to be located. It's in this destination where Maul is actually seen all cloaked with a hood over his head, activating the Sith hologram. This hologram is said to be no other than Darth Revan without his helmet, speaking about a hidden Sith temple located somewhere in the Outer Rim that holds secrets related to the dark side. It's a scene that Dave Filoni originally, and believe it or not, wanted to fulfill in either both the Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels, but never got the chance to do that. And of course, we'll be fulfilling that in Underworld, and how it's going to showcase a large Revan hologram, almost near as large as the Maul hologram, as seen in the Han Solo movie's ending. Now let me just stop right here for 1 second. Now, what's interesting about this is Underworld, guys, I don't know if you guys knew this, but Star Wars Underworld was the original first live-action Star Wars show that was being done by George Lucas. It got canceled back in 2007. The only thing that we really got out of it were, of course, a handful of shots of test footage. In fact, you guys can look it up on the internet. It's everywhere. Go ahead and search up Star Wars Underworld test footage. And what you'll come to find is that it's a combination of Blade Runner and Star Wars. It's a very interesting take, I gotta say. I always absolutely loved that atmosphere. The dark alleyways, the neon lights, hearing the ships from above, all the speeders from above crossing the buildings. I just love the atmosphere. I love what fans like to call ASMR of Star Wars within that whole sphere or realm of the franchise. So scenery-wise, I think it's a great move. Story-wise, too, it's going to be a great move because it's going to focus on the infancy of Crimson Dawn, essentially, and how it is going to bleed into, or kind of shift its way into, the Han Solo movie, kind of setting things up for how Maul got started. And that's going to be interesting, to say the least. The fact that they are also throwing in this Revan hologram to set things up for the Old Republic movie that is going to feature Keanu Reeves, because now John Wick 5 is off the table. Basically the creators of John Wick feel that a fifth movie is no longer necessary for obvious reasons. And so they're pursuing, Keanu getting involved in Star Wars and Marvel now. That's why his agent is trying to get him involved in that. Disney 100% wants him for both franchises and is moving forward. Now, moving ahead, the design of Revan is completely planned to be modeled after Keanu, and already is, of course, in the storyboard that was already illustrated by John and Dave. Now, separate from this, of course, another big plan by John and Dave is to reinvent the character of Rey in their upcoming post-Episode 9 series that they do intend to release in 2026. Not only are they planning on reinventing Rey's personality and backstory, but also her design. It's going to take place 25 years after Episode 9 and 10 years after the New Jedi Order movie. The latest involves giving her a double-bladed yellow lightsaber design, where Rey is going to have very long hair this time around. John and Dave have also been brainstorming the idea, and this is where I think something may come across as a little odd, by giving Rey's hair a different color, as part of a new Jedi meaning in the Star Wars lore. However, John and Dave are on the fence about that decision for the New Jedi Order series, where Rey will be a side character. So, they're on the fence about changing her hair color to give her a drastic redesign, and it would be one of the first sequences that we've seen that in live action form, where we have a major character change the hair color. I'm not quite sure how a lot of fans would like that. It seems a little out of touch and a little overboard, but if they feel it's going to really change the character up, visually speaking, so be it, I guess. But what I like so much about out of this is how they are going to reinvent her personality, her backstory. We've already covered that multiple times, but what's new here is they are going to be reinventing her lightsaber to becoming a double-bladed one. And John and Dave feel that this best suits her because she always uses that staff in the sequel trilogy. She used it in The Force Awakens heavily, and it really was, a natural to her character design. And that's why they want to do that. So that's very interesting about how they're looking at that as a form of symbolism of how the staff in The Force Awakens is like a little bit of a prelude to how her training with a lightsaber being double-bladed will be a thing in this post-Episode 9 series. Now again, the reason why they want to make a post-Episode 9 series or simply a new Jedi Order show is that John and Dave want to focus on an event where all the Jedi are rising. They're established, and they are going to be pretty much, the new order, essentially. And Rey's going to be a side character. I think that's interesting because they're also treating her as a supporting character in the upcoming New Jedi Order movie. I know a lot of fans out there call it the Rey movie, but it's simply not that. She's going to be treated more or less of the lines of like Finn or Poe Dameron in the sequels. She's going to be a supporting character. Let's just be clear about that. So overall, there's a lot of things coming out of this. I think the thing that really interests me the most is the whole plan for Revan. I would love to hear what you guys have to say about this, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys next time.
From night to moon.